Hey guys, and welcome to this week's episode of Facebook Friday. Eric Hammond here. This is one of those topics that I'm super passionate about, and I probably go on longer than I should. It might be a long one, but if you're looking for some new clients this year and you're like, I've been going down this real estate path, I don't know where to go this year, I'm trying to add some new clients to my plan this year. It's 2019. Depending on when you watch this, it might be the beginning of a new year and you're still setting your goals and getting new things after it. Guys, I'm gonna show you guys how to work with real estate investors in this market. I've been in real estate for 10 years. I love real estate investing. It's just a super big passion of mine. Rental properties, fix and flips, tearing down old houses, all that kind of stuff. If you wanna work with those type of clients who are repeat over and over and over clients, they're gonna buy multiple homes from you this year. If you've ever wanted to work with them, this is the video for you. So let's go check out how to work with real estate investors. See you in the show. Happy Friday, Eric Hammond here, the Orange Stack. Thanks for joining us every Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, as we go live here on our page and broadcast to you guys. Guys, it's the new year. It's January 4th. Happy New Year. If I haven't said it to you already, I appreciate you being here, following along as we tell our story and show you guys how to be better at real estate, better at marketing, and just really go bigger. Today's going to be a fun topic. So I've been in real estate for 10 years. Most of you guys know my story. I started out in 2009 investing in real estate. We moved to the state of Utah from California. We were living in the Bay Area at the time. And I'm not going to get into my whole story, but 2009 was the beginning of my real estate career. We started buying homes, fixing and flipping homes, and just got that real estate bug. And I wanted to talk about this today because it's been a whole decade and real estate is in a completely different place than it was 10 years ago. We were going through the crash back then. Housing values were going down. Everyone was losing themselves. The mortgage industry was falling apart. It was incredible. As coming into the industry, it was interesting to watch and it was interesting to see what was going on. A lot of my friends who were in real estate at that time were all getting out saying, look, I'm stuck. I can't sell this house. I bought this big house to flip and I don't know what to do with it. I'm just going to keep it and rent it. Tons of people I knew lost their homes. A sad time. It was rough. But it was interesting for me. I was coming from the construction background and really trying to get my hold on things and understand what I was doing in my life. I'd been laid off from a job recently, lost everything that I was doing. I went to school for construction, wanted to be in construction my whole life, just thought that that was my passion, that was the thing that I wanted to do. And it's still something I'm excited about, but it wasn't the direction that was supposed to work out for me. So we got into real estate investing. This is becoming a longer story than I planned for. We got into real estate investing in 2009, fixing and flipping houses, and the rest of the story you'll have to ask me when you meet me someday. But what I want to talk to you guys about today as a real estate agent is working with investors. So again, I started before I was a real estate agent as an investor. I've only had my real estate license for 4 or 5 years. But before that, I was buying homes, selling homes, renting homes, investing in homes, rehabbing homes, everything to do with that side of real estate. So I understand that side really well as well. And what happened now is over the last couple of years, real estate investing's gotten super, super popular again. If you haven't noticed, everybody and their mom is out there trying to get their real estate license. And you're thinking, yeah, there's a ton of competition. I got to work with everybody now who's a real estate agent, and it's no fun. It's true. It's not that hard to go get your real estate license, honestly. Like in California, you take one test, I want to say, but depending on your college education, it's like 36 or 48 days or something like that that you need to actually study for before you can take the test. And then boom, you're a licensed real estate agent. So this topic kind of started brewing in my head on New Year's Eve. We were hanging out with some new friends, doing some things. And we're hanging out with this guy named Trevor. So if you're watching this, Trevor, shout out to you. He's all excited to get into real estate investing. He's like, I got the bug. I want to get into it. I want to make millions of dollars, and this is what I want to do. And I think that that's what everyone's goal is. Their goal is to just, quit their job, go buy a couple homes, fix them, flip them, rent them, do whatever they can, and they think they're going to just retire. And that's a possibility. You can get lucky. You can find some incredible opportunities. There's some amazing deals out there. I keep looking that way because there's a couple projects that are going on right where I am right now that they've remodeled recently. They bought small, they built, they added value, and then they sold, and they made a ton of money. I think these guys made like $8 million off this project over here. So it was a good project. But that's not typical, and a lot of investors, I think, come into this world thinking that, I'm going to buy something cheap, I'm going to sell it, I'm going to do this over and over and over, and it's going to be easy. And it can be if you do things right, and it can work out to your advantage. The problem that most investors don't understand is the lack of inventory that they're going to be able to come across. Because most investors have a couple key strategies that they work on. They're either great at the remodel and great at improving and bringing value to the home, finding that little ugly 1,000 square foot 2-bedroom 1-bath and turning it into a 2,000 square foot 4-bedroom 2-bath, something that most families are going to want to live in nowadays. They've got that eye for construction and design and making an ugly thing beautiful. Other investors are great at finding the opportunities, and they know how to create something out of nothing. A few years ago down at Imperial Beach, we were working down there, and we were finding these properties that were little teeny homes, back to 1,000 square foot homes on big acre lots. And the city has zoned these properties to be multi-unit dwellings. And so we could build 10 units on one property where only one property existed before. So you come in and buy this little teeny home, scrape it off the lot, and then build either townhouses or condos or something there. So huge opportunity. So you had to think kind of outside the box and how to make it fit and how to make it work for that type of a situation. But that was another one. Some investors are better at partnering and figuring out how to structure a deal better so that, somebody comes in with cash, somebody comes in with financing, somebody comes in with managing, different kind of ways of handling that project. So everyone's got a different mindset when it comes to investing and how they can work together. And what I wanted to talk to you guys, the real estate agent, about today was about working with these investors. Again, right now, there's tons of people coming into this world of real estate and trying to invest and trying to do something, trying to build a passive income portfolio, trying to leverage their time, trying to leverage their abilities, just seeing that the market has these things out there. And what can you do as a real estate agent to work with them? You maybe have worked with a couple in the past. You may have written a few offers on some short sales. You may have knocked short sales, noticed the defaults. You may have worked a few foreclosures. You may have been to the HUD store and trying to buy stuff that way. And you got burnt out just because the investor wants to look at a million things. They want to write offers on everything. They're always like 80% of what the house is actually worth on their offer. They never know what they really want. It can be challenging. So you're probably thinking, why do I want to waste my time? Well, the beauty of an investor is that they're a repeat client. And as long as you know how to work with them, they can be business for the rest of your life. Most homeowners are going to buy a house. They're going to live in it anywhere from 5 to 10, maybe even 20 years before they buy another house, right? So how often do you have to sell to them? Once every 20 years? That sucks. You got to keep going back and back and back and keep finding more and more and more, or getting referrals, which is a good source of business. But for the most part, when somebody buys, they're out. Like, you're going to keep sending them your newsletter and you're going to keep following up with them. But for the most part, they're not going to be buying again for a while or selling. But an investor, if you find the right investor and the right guy or the right gal who knows what they're doing and has financing available and can work with you, they could be a multiple repeat customer month after month after month. When we were in our glory days of investing, and our peak for me was back in like 2013, 14. That's when we had probably one of our best years for flipping houses. We had 4 or 5 projects going on at a time, all the time. We were buying houses faster than I could find them. I remember coming home one day and my wife's like, "Hey, how was work?" And I said, "Oh, it was great. We bought a couple rentals today." She's like, "What? What do you mean you bought a couple rentals today?" And I don't know. It worked out. We found a couple properties, we bought them, added them to our portfolio. We're ready to go. You never know what's going to happen as an investor. And if you think about that from a real estate agent perspective, you're going to make a commission every time one of these buys or sells. So if you have an investor, let's just say, who's flipping 5, 10, maybe even 20 houses a year, that's like selling 20 houses in a year. And you get both sides potentially, because you help the agent buy, or you help the investor buy, and potentially you help them sell if you work it right. And you might even represent the buyer on the backside too. So there might be even 3 transactions out of every house that you come across. So there's a lot of opportunity there alone. You don't want to just work with any investor though. There's a lot of investors who, will say a good story and they'll have good intentions and they want to do big things, but they might get stuck along the way and they might waste your time. So you got to vet your investors. Some of the things to consider with vetting your investors is, do they have the ability to borrow money? Are they working with a hard money lender? Do they have cash? Do they have private money? Are they able to go down to the bank and qualify for a loan and be able to close. Most of the homes that investors buy are cash only because they take too long for the bank to close, or they're unfinanceable, or that borrower's tapped out. So you got to make sure that they can actually qualify. Before you get them into your car, make sure that they can buy. That's hugely important. Don't waste your time with that. But if they can't qualify for a loan, you might be a resource to them and saying, look, I've got guys who have hard money to lend, or I've got private money to lend, or I know people who can get you financing. So just because financing may be a big bar of entry for some people, don't let that stop them. The other thing to consider is, are they going to be able to take action? So if you show an investor a home, are they willing to write an offer if the numbers make sense? When you're working with a new buyer, you're going to show more properties than you'll ever want to see in your life. And you've probably been through this before. Again, if you're an agent who's working with new buyers, they're going to want to find the perfect house. They have a budget they have to stick to. They're looking for the right carpet color. They're looking for the right furniture. They're looking for the right windows. They're super picky. But an investor's not emotionally attached. They don't care how the house looks. They don't care how it functions. They just want the numbers to make sense because they can fix it, and that's their goal. So you might show 10 houses to an investor, and he might write, or she, I keep saying he or she might write 8 offers on those 10 houses. As a new home buyer, you might see 10 houses and write 0 offers. So if you show a house to an investor and the numbers make sense and they're not willing to move forward, you got to find a new investor, because it's all in the numbers. It makes sense that way. And you've got to work with them and knowing what they're looking for, because you can't try to talk them into something. They have to know their numbers and they have to make them work. So being able to have financing, being able to pull the trigger on something that actually is going to work, that's really your biggest holdups. And then, again, making sure that you're part of that loop, that you're giving them a product that they can work with. If you say, okay, let's just easy numbers. Let's just say you buy a house for $350,000. You're going to put 30 into it, and you're going to sell it for $500,000. There's a profit there. Can I actually sell this house for $500,000? Or is that investor going to over-improve it? Are they going to spend $50,000 or $60,000 or $70,000 trying to over-improve it and make it too amazing, and now they're trying to get back their money, and now they want to sell it for $550,000 when the neighborhood says it's only worth $500,000? So are they realistic? Are they going to listen to you? Are they going to take your advice and follow the market? Because the market might dip, and maybe that house is now worth $470,000, not $500,000 anymore. So they have to be able to walk away from some money sometimes to get the deal to work. So you got to know those kind of things. The other thing to consider is, again, back to the value that you bring. If you bring a hard money lender, something to the table that the investor's going to like and use, maybe they're tapped out, maybe they only have so much money that they can borrow. Having resources like hard money lenders and partners like that can be a huge benefit to your investors. Being able to bring inventory. As a real estate agent, you're constantly prospecting. You're looking for deals, you're out there, you're calling, you're door knocking, you're driving around, you're looking at stuff. What are you bringing to the investor? Every agent has access to the MLS, and most investors now do too. So what are you bringing to that investor that's going to want them to work with you? I was telling this guy that we were with on New Year's Eve, how to go find some properties out there. He's got a job between here and here, and every day he goes A to B, A to B, A to B, back and forth. Instead of just taking that same route every single day and seeing the same things, have a course like this where you zigzag to get to work one day, and then zag and zig the other way on the way home. Go find a different way. Go start seeing different properties. Don't take the same route every single day. When you start seeing the same things every day, your mind just becomes oblivious to what's available. As you start taking different routes, you'll notice different yards, different boarded up windows, different roofs that are having issues, different things that are happening. Motivation is what you're looking for. You're looking for the people who say, I live in this house, but I might sell if I got the right offer. And I know we're in a weird market right now, and the market's changing depending on where you are. It's shifting from a seller's market to a buyer's market, but there's still opportunities out there. There might be ugly fix and flips. There might be other financial motivation behind the seller's motive. But if you can bring this inventory to the investor, you're going to have a line out the door of potential buyers for you. Not every house that you find has to go to the MLS. As a real estate agent, you're representing the client, which is potentially the investor. And if you're going out seeking these properties, if you're knocking on that ugly door in the neighborhood that you just drove by and saying, there's a bunch of different scripts for this, but saying, hey, I see that you've lived here for a while. Looks like you moved in 2000 whatever. Have you had any thoughts of selling your home? I have a few buyers in my pocket who are always looking for new properties to buy. Have you ever had any thoughts of selling? I might have someone who's interested in your property. You don't have to bring up the fact that their house is beat or ugly or worn down or the neighbors are hating on it. All you have to do is say, I have a buyer. Would you be interested in an offer? They make offers all the time. They'd be interested in offering on a home like this, and bring up some of the points of that house and find out what the needs are of that seller. Usually if the house is pretty beat down, you'd be surprised some of the motivation that you find. There's a lot of opportunities in these conversations. So as you work with investors, understand what they're looking for. Understand that there's tons of inventory out there right now. There's so many houses that are beat, struggling. The owners may be in a financial distress. Not everybody's happy and making millions of dollars right now, right? Somebody's out there losing their job. Somebody's out there struggling to make ends meet. Somebody's out there in need of help. So, how do you find investors to work with? That's probably the last question that we'll go over here. They're all over. I get, as a real estate agent, I still get all these automated phone calls. Hey, it's Bob the builder. I would love to work with you. I'm an investor and I want to buy 20 properties this year. That happens. I don't know how legit those guys are. They learned it from some course that they went to. But what I would suggest you do is go to Google and look up REIA, which is R-E-I-A, REIA, which stands for Real Estate, R-E, Investor Association. So there's a Real Estate Investor Association probably in every town that this video is currently being broadcast to. Just alone in San Diego County, there's 3 or 4 of them. I lived in Utah for a while. There's 3 or 4 of them out there. They're all over the place. They're in most major large cities. So go find a REIA near you. Sometimes they call them specific to the name. Like, for example, there's one in Oceanside where I live here called North County Real Estate Investor Association. So it might be specific to where you live. But go look up a REIA. What happens at these REIAs, Real Estate Investor Associations, they meet once a month. There's usually a topic that they learn about, something to do with real estate investing, either how to buy, how to flip, how to fix up a home, how to work with a real estate agent, kind of the opposite side of what this conversation is going on right now. But they're learning about real estate and how to invest and how to be better at it. Go to one of those meetings. There might be 10, there might be 300 people in these meetings. And it might cost you $20 to get in. But it's open. They want you to come, they want you to learn. They love having real estate agents. Just come sit in the corner if you don't want to talk to anybody, but go up and shake hands if you are, and go meet a few people and sit and listen to see what they're talking about. They usually meet once a month, and there's tons of great content at these things. You might learn a few things as a real estate agent. You might learn where to find properties. You might learn how to prospect. You might learn how to own a rental property someday if it's something that you've never considered. So go to one of these meetings, bring at least 5 cards, go meet 5 strangers and just say, look, my name's Eric. I'm a real estate agent. I've been doing this for X amount of years. I would love to start working with investors. Tell me more about what you're looking for. What are you looking for in your next investment property? How do you like to buy homes? Are you a cash buyer? Do you get financing? Do you like buy and holds, meaning rental properties? Do you like fix and flips, meaning the ugly ones that you're going to buy and sell 3 weeks later? What do you look for as an investment property? How can I help you buy your next property? I guarantee there's already going to be a dozen real estate agents in that room who are working with the investors, but they're not doing everything. They're not bringing all the deals. They're still hungry, motivated investors in those meetings. I've been to those meetings month after month after month, and there is never enough deals, never enough houses to buy for them. There's so much money in that room ready to go right now. I guarantee you could walk into one of those rooms and probably have access to 10, if not $100 million of financing available to buy another investment property out there right now. So that's my plea with you this year. If you've never worked with a real estate investor and it's been on your mind, watch this video again, get a couple ideas, and go out there and chase down an investor of your own. One investor might make the world of difference to you this year. Again, they buy multiple properties a year, 10, 20 plus. Even if you just work with an investor who buys 1 rental property a year, that's 1 extra deal in your pocket this year. And you never know what else you could buy. If you've got a bunch of great clients and they've got money and they're fantastic clients and you've loved working with them, maybe you want to talk to them about being an investor. Maybe it's time for them to diversify their portfolio. Maybe it's time for them to start buying rental properties. You might have that conversation too. All I know is that owning real estate is one of the best passive income sources of income, best passive sources of income that you'll ever have. It builds more wealth than anything else. It is truly a way of living the American dream. I've loved my real estate investing career. I know that being in real estate as an agent, a lot of you don't own homes yet, and most of you do not own real estate as an investing tool. If you're going to sell a product, you should own a product. So go out there and invest yourself. Find a way to buy a condo this year. Find a way to buy a townhouse or a single family home that you can rent out, even if it's just an Airbnb or something like that. Go find a way to invest back in yourself and learn and prepare for your future retirement someday. I love real estate investing. I could probably create a year's worth of content about this over the next year. But our goal on this channel is to provide value to you as a real estate agent, to help you go find more business, to do more things, to help you in your marketing. We've got tons of content over the last 2 years you guys can go check out. I appreciate you joining us each week. I know there's a few of you viewers who watch all the way. I check our Facebook stats, who watch 100% of our videos every single week, and I appreciate that. Thanks for staying to the end. Guys, I am grateful you're here. Thank you again. I hope you're having an incredible new year. I hope you're rocking your real estate market where you are. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. Love to follow up with you. And thanks for being here. We will see you next week, 10 a.m. Pacific. Until then, Happy New Year.